Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond. Broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
We're back at you, Gloves Off. I'm Professor Buitrón. I'm here with Ms. Jess Olivares, and we're touching base on Laredo and what she's been doing in the last year, especially with this COVID crisis. And how we doing?
Good. Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here, and I'm just, looking forward to a lot of projects and things happening in the city to just, get us moving forward and just start recovery phase, right, in Laredo.
Well, you're absolutely correct. Right now, yesterday, the governor opened up 100% and no mask, no more. It's a mandate. And I think we need to start respecting that. We need to start, like you said, recovery phase. We understand the virus is out there. We understand that this is a pandemic. But we've also learned how to take care of ourselves. There's certain things that we already know. You see people with the masks on. I don't think people are going to be running around with or without. I tell this to folks. Mm-hmm. If you see somebody with a mask, good. If you see somebody without a mask, good. Now, don't go get in the person's face that doesn't have a mask and start yelling at them to put one on. It's not about that. Mm-mm. You Definitely. Take care of yourself, you take care of your family, take care of your surroundings, and move forward. Most businesses, they know that people are courteous. Most people are going to wear a mask, especially here around Laredo. I've seen it. Mm-hmm. In other places where there was no mask mandate, people weren't wearing a mask. So it's going to change. People need to start understanding that people need to adapt. And we need to adapt for the future, for progressive forward, right?
Correct.
People say, we have to progress, but where can we progress? Up or down or left or right? You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. It's moving forward, yes. And that's a good point that you bring up, because I think, earlier in the year, I had made a comment about that when I saw the whole, the bickering back and forth as far as why aren't they wearing a mask, or they should, or people that would wear them or they don't. And that's one of the things that, I also believe we just have to be respectful. As much as this person is scared of contracting COVID-19 and they believe that they need to follow each and every guideline to not get, contracted with COVID-19, then this the other person that wants to live life the way they choose to, as far as they're not wishing to get COVID-19, but they have their own belief system on how they want to basically go about their life. We also have to be respectful of that. Bottom line, with either do you wear it, do you don't, it's individually up to us how we want to move forward, and also and just and pretty much just live with that, but not try to impose what is right or what is wrong, because right now all we have to do is just take care of ourselves, basically. And if you want to follow safety guidelines, definitely, go about it that way. But as far as even with businesses and everything else, that certain businesses will require it, others won't. But if you feel that, hey, you know what, I still want to wear the mask, or I'm being precautious, or anything in regards to that, go ahead, wear the mask. There's no one saying you can't, or vice versa. No one's saying that you should. It's just like, let's be respectful of each other. That's the bottom line. Respect each other.
Absolutely. You're exactly right. Folks need to understand that there's things already there that we might not take for granted. There's a law in Texas. You can carry concealed, you can carry open. Carry, right? You walk into a business. If the business doesn't want you to carry a gun inside, there's a sign outside the door, and it has to be a specifically measured sign that is posted outside the door for people that have one understand that that business there does not want anybody in there with a gun or with, understand what I'm saying?
Correct.
Or that business can choose, we want people that come in with their guns, but concealed, not open carry, understand?
Yes.
So people have the right to choose what we have, and that's something that we're gonna have to start living with. I don't like the forceness of this to people that you have to do something, no, but we have to be cautious. We have to understand. You know, there's another problem here in Laredo that we have, I mean, a drug problem. I mean, we got marijuana, we have opiates and people, suicides left and right, and
Heroin
overdoses,
addict.
heroin addict. We got some bad heroin here in Laredo. People are dying left and right of heroin. And you know
There's
what I'm
just so
saying?
many.
So people understand those things are there, so you have to make your own judgment and take care of yourself into safety. So we have to teach people, you know, this brings us back, clean your hands. When you know, we live on the border. We live on the border that we have diseases that Mexico still has. Understand? And if we cross the border, we have to. If I wanna go travel to Africa, which I've had to take malaria shots. I have to take yellow fever shots. I had to take in different areas that I've gone. You had to take those vaccines, and you had to show them that you had it when you arrived in the country.
Correct.
Or else they wouldn't allow you to go inside, or you paid a fine and you got the vaccine there. So we have to understand that
Yes.
when we travel. So now it's going to be something that, if, you know, I think right now the traveling international is you have to have a 72-hour test and show it at the door to travel.
Yes.
But here's the question. Going back to businesses, we have to support one another. And you mentioned something about bickering. Did you see that?
I saw a lot of that on Facebook. Obviously, right, having a group of 26,000 and growing. You saw where there was a lot of people that just did not agree with how things, you know, with the whole mask mandate on what we were supposed to do or what we weren't supposed to do and all of that. And that's why, you know, I was reached out by LMT, or LMT reached out to me once the governor announced that Texas is opening at 100%. And they asked me, you know, what's your response, or, you know, what do you think? Given the fact that, right, I'm a big COVID-19 activist here in Laredo. And honestly, my opinion or my response to that was, it's time. It's time to move forward. It's time to start recovering. I have a small business. I've been impacted by you know, the pandemic in every way possible. So I know I'm not the only one. Obviously, I see it with my friends. I see it with family members, and I see how it impacted all of us. You know, business, and speaking only right now, you know, in regards to business owners, a lot of us had to close. A lot of us had to go through situations that, you know, we hadn't experienced. And I think that it's time now that we do everything possible and bring all the resources possible to the community, like we had mentioned in our conversation, to bring the small little restaurants back, bring the little, you know, all the small businesses that we can think of that they're not getting millions of dollars like the bigger corporations in the community. My focus on what I want to do is reach out to those small businesses and find out, why were you know, did you try, you know, these loans or these resources that are out there for you? Yes. Why were you denied? Why were you told you couldn't get a loan, you know, to keep your business afloat, or for you to not be able to, you know, for you to not close your doors? Those are the stories I want to find out about and bring light to all that problem, because to me, this is my community. This is my home. This is Laredo. If we don't have leaders stepping up and doing everything possible right now to recover, a lot of us, we're not going to be, we're not going to exist. We're not going to be in the community anymore.
Correct.
And I don't think it's fair, because it was something that obviously none of us expected. And I think that all of us, in the community deserve more, and we deserve somebody or people fighting for us to make sure that we have all the resources possible and we don't close down.
You're absolutely correct. I'm going to change it a little bit because it's 6, so I'm going to bring it to 5.
Yes.
The 5 P's
Yes.
of planning. Perfect planning prevents poor performance.
Yes.
The city had no plan. Now, perfect planning is one thing. Now, when you don't have a plan, well, you're already limited, so you see poor performance. And you saw the poor performance all last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about us, the community, stepping up, because you stepped up. We stepped up. We tried to help out the businesses. They just said, close it, no. Cada quien por su santo. And if you're not going to do it, we're going to force this, or we're going to do. There's a nice paper, parchment, that was written in 1776 called the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. They trampled it on it all last year. They stepped on it, they tore it apart and make a little ball. They were playing basketball with it in the trash can. That was our city leaders doing that. There was a lot of leaders doing that. So we, the people of the community of Laredo, stepped up and said, you know what, you did with your group and try to get everything, let's connect with this person. If this person needs something, let's do it, let's get it done.
Yes.
Let's get it done.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between how people react to every different situation. And everybody reacted with fear. Fear's good in a way. Fear's good when you're going into the ring and you have that and you understand that and you're using that for your advantage, you step up there. But when you're just scared and you don't know what's going on,
there's no guidance,
and you're frozen and everything's coming
in
at
the dark, basically.
And everybody, well, he's doing that and he's doing that and they're doing this and nobody's doing anything because everybody's just pointing the finger at each other. And hopefully everybody learned. I know I did. I know you did.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you're talking about we have to save the businesses. Right now it's salvage time.
Correct.
Those that are still floating about, let's pick them up and let's put them in the lifeboat and let's continue look at the next one.
Yes, definitely. And you know what? And that brings up, we cannot continue to be reactive. Being reactive to situations doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't. It'll fix it. It's a quick fix right now. But I didn't really invest in helping you succeed and keep going. All I'm doing is I'm going to pump some money into you right now, but there really isn't a plan. You don't have any resources. You don't have a support system. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. That's the thing that I've been saying and I've stated before. We cannot be reactive. We cannot have reactive plans. We need to be proactive. That's why right now that the state already said, hey, we're opening. We're opening at 100%. Regardless of anything else, that's the plan. That's what's happening. Okay, what are the plans in action for long-term, a long-term process, a long-term program that's going to really help the community? That's what, I think is really important that we do right now, because that's what's going to help all of us move forward, like you said. And hopefully, that those are some of the things, even with the group, those are things that I saw that I was like, I saw the need that was out there because, just all the overwhelming messages of, this is going on with my business. I'm lost. I don't understand this. I tried that, but that didn't work. And, and those were all the things that I collectively started to look into. And I was like, okay, there needs to be more because obviously something's not working. So. No,
and you're right. You're right. And many will call and say, what can we do here? And we'll start putting in. And trying to see which way, sending them to you, sending them to the other people, sending them to the food bank. You need something, let's get it done.
Exactly.
Let's get it done. It's not time about what can happen, let's get it done. Call the city councilman, is there something there we can do for these people? Let's start pushing them, because if you don't pick up the phone and start pushing them, they think everything's kosher. No, let's start moving for them to realize, you know what?
There's a huge need.
There's something wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. Back in November, when they came out with, the bars and the spikes, and it's the bar's fault, and everybody was pointing the finger at the bars and the restaurants and the bars and the restaurants and bars and the restaurants and this and the gyms and people went nuts. People went berserk. They started insulting the owners. They started insulting the owners' families. They started in different social media outlets. And several got together and they started saying, look at what's going on here. And I said, do me a favor. Go through each one of those, all the different hate speeches and everything, and find out where they work. You know, there was 67 people that they didn't win one, and I saw them. And the majority of those worked for either the city of Laredo, UISD or LISD. Okay? The vast majority, or the county. So they were getting paid anyway.
Mm-hmm.
None of them had a small business. None of them had ever had a small business. And you had a couple of professional moms. And then you had a couple of guys there that, but everybody, you go in there and they started looking at the pictures. The vast majority were at those places, taking selfies that they were saying that this had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, quit being a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
You go there on Saturday and on Tuesday you're talking bad about them.
Exactly.
Understand?
And I understand the I guess the frustration that brings up, because as a small business owner, we know nobody guarantees our paycheck. Nobody. If we don't show up, if we don't, put all our efforts in everything, in each way possible to keep our businesses afloat, we don't get a paycheck. And even when we do have money, the money goes first to all the employees, all the bills, everything that's outstanding before we get that last penny.
Amen.
If a penny's left, that's what we get. So I understand the frustration, because it's not easy. It's easy to speak about people when you're not in their shoes, or to criticize them when you're not in their shoes, when you don't understand how strenuous, how stressful, how everything it is to keep a business running and afloat, and you're getting a check, a guaranteed check, because you're not worried where that money's coming from. All you know is you're getting your direct deposit, or you're picking up your paycheck, and that's it. It's easy to criticize that small business owner, and that's not right. That's not right.
And right now with this 100%, that should stop, null and void.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yes.
And if you want to go to that business, fine, just like many others do, like just as before, but let's supporting them. This is something that I posted today. For the folks out there listening, jot down 10 small businesses in your immediate area, 10,
Mm-hmm.
and support them, because I guarantee you they supported you during the crisis by shutting down.
Yes.
So let's support them now that they're open. Let's start moving.
I love that. That's so true, because we should definitely advocate for the community. Now that we're opening, please reach out to small businesses, because it's honestly, I hate to sound cliche and use words that they've used before, but it is the backbone. It is. I don't know what else to express or how else to place it. It is the backbone of the community. It is. And again, because I'm, I know what it takes. It's very, it's been scary for all of us. And especially when your livelihood, when it's your bread and butter, and it depends on the community coming out to and eating at your restaurant, or going into your small shop to purchase, your goods or services. It's vital, that we support them right now.
Absolutely. And those small businesses, the businesses were the ones that would, every time you went over there and say, you know what, the cheerleader, here's a poster for the cheerleader.
Yes.
Here went $100, $50. Oh, you know what, here's a baseball team. Here goes another one. Hey, you know what, this was a basketball team. We need jerseys. Here goes another one.
Yes.
You know what, so-and-so's grandmother died. Can you...
We're doing a plate sale, and they were the ones that donated.
So now let's help them out, because they're the ones that have always been in the community.
Definitely.
And that's what we need to start doing now.
Yeah.
And it's not those sitting down in City Hall that are going to be doing that. It's going to be us
as a community,
helping each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what needs to happen.
Definitely.
Remember, when we, there's eight people, I guess, there's how many city council? 8, and the mayor, 9 people.
Mm-hmm.
There's 9 people, and you have 260,000 people Who do you think they're afraid of? They're afraid of the 250 people that can say, "You're out of here. We don't want you anymore."
Exactly.
Okay, don't let those 8 or 9 dictate what 250 can say.
Exactly.
So we the people, we Laredo have to start saying, "You guys work for us."
Exactly.
Let's start producing. Not we don't work for you.
No.
And that's what needs to happen now. We need people that are conscious about that to start stepping up and start running for positions.
Exactly. Definitely. No, I completely agree with you because right now, especially again, to me, once, it was personal when not personal, but how can I tell you? I felt it because especially when the pandemic started back in March, being scared, not knowing what to do, that feeling of just like, what's going to happen, and not having any guidance whatsoever that I felt at that moment was available. I could only imagine, an elderly grandma that doesn't have their family here in Laredo, who is going to take care of her, who is going to take care of that disabled vet that has no family either, no support system, who is going to take care of the single mom, that has all her kids at home and she's barely making ends meet, but everything's shutting down. And she has children in the house, so she can't run out and go to the store because she's scared that she's going to get COVID-19, come back and give it to all her children. Those are all the things that started running through my head, and I was like, no, we need to be each other's support system, because if we don't create that culture, we don't start it right now, we're not going to get anything done, and we're always going to depend, like you said, on those 9 people sitting down that have, they're comfortable, and they'll react when they feel they want to react, but things were happening and things needed to get addressed. So once, COVID-19 started, that I don't remember the exact date, I just know it was sometime in March when I was seeing all the deaths in New York City. And I started to get worried because I was like, I know that it was trickling down already. It was like, I think it was Houston had its cases, then San Antonio. And then I knew it was, I'm like, it's any day now that it's going to impact Laredo. I was like, something needs to get started. Something, somebody needs to step up. And I was like, I don't have the resources that the city has. I don't have any resources to help all these people. But I'm going to create the platform for everybody to help out each other. And that's basically what's been happening.
Absolutely. And a great job that you and those associated with you did. When they closed down, I was driving back into town, they were closing down. I'm like, it was exactly a year ago. It will be next Tuesday, because it was spring break. Next Tuesday will be a year when we went under. Okay, that's how I remember. And that lockdown, when it happened on that Tuesday, and the mandates and everything going on there, and seeing city council the way they were acting, and seeing some of them the way they were acting, some of them should have been pulled out of there right away, and tarred and feathered. But, and I hate to talk this rash, because that's the way it is. And I know everybody in City Hall. There's only one I just don't know, but the rest of them I know personally. And we got some good people in there. We have some people that are kind-hearted. Yes. And when all that was going on, and people just flipped, the following day I came here and I came in and I started cleaning, and sure enough, by the time I knew it, my neighbors started coming in. Hey, what are we gonna do? Blah 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 blah. So I started talking to them. You can ask my wife. For the first month, a couple of weeks, the first week was people just calling. The second week was when the calls at night that they need help. They're so far into depression they can't know what they're gonna do. They're blah blah blah. All the bills are coming up. All the everything is, and I'm glad for Pillar of Laredo, because we're sending people over there to get counseling. The depression started hitting in, going into the 3rd week. I remember in the middle of you couldn't leave because there was lockdown. The police would stop you. Try to pull somebody out of the rabbit hole because they wanted to commit suicide. I said, I'm right there. Hold on here. And I was talking to him, and I left the house. This was 12:30 at night. I got stopped. I told, hey, you want to go with me and do a wellness check? Because that's where I'm going. And the police said, oh, where are you going to? You can give me a ticket there if you want. And we stood there till 4 o'clock in the morning talking that person out. Now he's doing fine and doing help. And that's what we need. But they didn't think about all that.
Mm-mm.
They didn't think about the depression. They didn't think about the people trying to do suicide. They didn't think about the child abuse that's going on, the molestations that will continue going into there. They didn't think about the domestic violence that was going to continue. And it just went bingo. And everybody kind of like shies away from it. Oh, it didn't happen with COVID. Oh, no, it didn't happen. It did happen.
And with people struggling with addiction, the pandemic wasn't going to stop all the heroin use, all the people that are, struggling with addiction at their home, that now their family was going to have to be enclosed with that person. They didn't think of all the things this was about to cause. Those are the things that we saw.
Absolutely. And you know how it was very nice, everybody got that one text, the COVID is spiking and everybody's going to die tomorrow.
Yes.
Remember that text that we got?
Yes.
Well, I hope the city continues to use that and to put out there and say, we have some bad heroin in the streets. Watch out for it. Because it's some bad heroin that's killing people out there. How come they don't put that out there? We have an opiate pandemic here, and ladies, moms, pops, that's tightened the medicine cabinet and it's not let our teenagers look into it. And how come they don't put that out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
It's a conversation that needs to be talked about, needs to be brought to light, and we need to stop making it so taboo to it's a culture that we need to stop, because that mentality of we don't talk about it makes it worse for the people around that are experiencing it. It's not going to go away by not talking about it. It's not going to make the addict stop being an addict because we don't talk about it. We need to talk about it, because even going and drive around in the streets, how many people do we see? And it's sad. I don't know the person personally, but I'm sure everybody has seen the lady out in Del Mar being wheeled in a wheelchair. It is the saddest situation. It is the saddest thing, because you see how obviously addicted she is. I mean, you see it in her body. I mean, all the marks and everything. And those are the things that I understand that at some point, I know that maybe, legally we can't do anything about it if the person decides to still be,
Sure.
using or whatever they want to do. But my whole point is, we need to create more preventative programs, starting from elementary.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And people that are dealing drugs have to get harsher punishments. And here's where I come at. When you talked about the homeless were not locked down. They're still out there. I don't even think the homeless got COVID.
Yes.
They're still around. They're the
Yes.
same ones in every corner. And that's something to open your eyes and look. If you haven't noticed that.
Yes.
But on another note, we hope everybody's safe. We are in the next step in that little platform. We walked the steps. We ended up now. Now we have to continue walking up the next set of stairs into a positive direction.
Mm-hmm.
And, we need more leaders like you standing up and saying that. And let's look forward and see what you have in the near future.
Thank you. Yes, no, I'm excited because, like I said, I've seen, all the need that is out there. I've seen how many things are impacting our community. I know that there's a lot of programs in place. I know that there's a lot, like you mentioned, a lot of city leaders that their heart is in the right place.
Sure.
And they're there to help, and they're really trying and fighting hard for the community. I know that. I don't try to downplay anybody's hard work and efforts, because it's not easy. I know it's not a job. It's not the job of one person to fix this community. So that's why I've always promoted unity. If we work together, we can really make some change. And that's my plan. That's what I want to move forward with that, with whatever I choose to do in the future. If I decide to run for office, or whatever the case might be, my plan is always to work in connection with other people. Not that, Jessica will solve everybody's problems. No, I won't. That's a lie. I know that I need to work with everybody in my community to be able to really help. right? People in different areas, because there's a lot of work to be done, and we just got to get to work. We need to stop all the bickering.
You're
We need to
absolutely
stop
correct.
everything. We just need to get to work because that's the way things are recovered.
Absolutely. And you said about running. If you decide to run, do so. Folks need to run. The more, the better, because it gives people the idea. It opens people's eyes. It opens people's minds, and it might even give you an idea that if you're an incumbent, wait a minute, something that did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? So gives everybody a new goal to look at.
Yes.
And folks, I'm going to leave you with that one. And remember, stay safe, be safe, and God bless you all. Enjoy your day. Peace.
Today, in America, more than 5.5 million men, women, and children train in a martial art regularly. Buitrón Academy has been serving Laredo for over 30 years now. Our adult classes are geared for producing the best in you, teaching you street-ready techniques. With the arts of Savate and Kinpo, you'll learn the traditions of these sciences of combat, as passed down professor to student.
Hello everybody, my name is Senior Grandmaster Alfredo Bandalan, owner of BDP, Bandalan the Siparis. I'd like to say a few words on Grandmaster Buitrón. He's a man of great integrity, a man of great knowledge of martial art. He's a master of Savate and master of Eskrima. He's a man that can help you to become what you want to be. He's a man that teaches people how to be somebody in life, how to work the world, how to be happy in this world. He's a man that I can say holds many integrity as well as in martial art. But I'd like to say this man has a radio station, does hunting all over the world, and he works with all kind of people, all walks of life. All I want to say, that Buitrón is a man that can help people to be somebody in life. I'd like to say aloha, thank you.
I am Grandmaster Michael Geron of Original Hero Eskrima Federation here in Vallejo, California. Professor Buitrón is an accomplished martial artist who has developed an understanding that as a caretaker in our martial arts, it is his responsibility to keep the art alive and in depth. He acknowledged that it is the students that give the art life. I hold his friendship and his continuing accomplishments in the art in the most highest regard. Thank you.
Come train at the best kept secret of Laredo. Give us a call for your free evaluation at 956-401-4868 or check out our website at savate.biz. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook.